Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man charged over removal of floodgate padlock at Bagwalk Gorge. One of two men seen in a viral breaching of the padlock of floodgate in Bagwalk Gorge in St. Catherine has been charged. Glenroy Denton, 45, an excavator operator of West Prospect District in Bagwalk, was on Thursday charged with malicious destruction of government property. Denton was offered station bail in the sum of $100,000 and is booked to appear in the St. Catherine Parish Court on October 6. Allegations are that on Monday, September 26, the National Works Agency NAA ordered the closure of the gate located at Dam Head due to flooding the gorge from the Royal Quarry. It is further alleged that Denton and another man cut open the padlock to the floodgate and proceeded to venture along the roadway. An investigation was launched by the police, which included reviewing surveillance footage, and Denton was subsequently arrested and charged. The man who was seen with Denton is being sought by the police. Meanwhile, attorney at law Roger Davis is contending that proof will have to be established that the government is the owner of the property. While it is not impossible to prosecute, it is usually when one damaged police uniforms or other government things, which we will have to wait and see, Davis said. Commenting on the issue, Patricia Harris, counsel for the Angels Division, which covers the Dam Head community, says a system needs to be put in place regarding access to the gorge. I should have gotten a key, as there are residents in the surrounding area who have nowhere else to go and need access, Harris said. I don't condone wrong. In case that was an emergency, the authorities have to find a way to deal with the gate, she added. St. Anne-based medic and tourism stakeholder Dr. Roosevelt Cox has died. The St. Anne business and tourism communities have been plunged into mourning following the death of medical practitioner and tourism advocate Dr. Roosevelt Cox. He died on September 28 after a period of illness. Up to the time of his passing, he operated the Cox Critic Care Emergency Services Limited and had previously served as chairman of the St. Anne St. Mary Tourism Advisory Board. He was also a well-known musician. President of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce and chairperson for the HRS Runaway Bay chapter of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association, Vanna Taylor, noted that Dr. Cox was very involved in the development of the community.
We're very sad on the passing of Dr. Cook, who was a real community person, and of course he ran his ambulance service, which a lot of our members used for many years and continue to use, as far as I know, especially from the JHT. And of course he was chairman of the resort board for some time, and looking to enhance the community, and he was a musician. Really a community person, a member of the church, Ontario, played for also many other churches, etc. He was just a wonderful community person and also, a businessman. So he's sadly missed, and we condolences to his family and friends and all of us who miss him greatly, and may his soul rest in peace.
Puncher chased from Westmoreland Bar, murdered as off-duty police attempt to intervene. A man was killed in a dramatic way that took place on September 30th on the White House Main Road in the vicinity of Big Tree, White House, Westmoreland. The incident reportedly occurred about 9:30 p.m. According to reports obtained by reporters, Jamison was among patrons at a dice sports bar along White House Main Road when two men armed with handguns approached and opened fire at him. According to reports, in a bid to escape injuries, Jamison ran from the bar and was chased by the gunmen who continued firing at him. He subsequently collapsed a short distance away from the roadway. It is reported that an off-duty police who was present and saw what was happening discharged a number of rounds from his licensed Glock pistol in the direction of the men in a bid to repel the attack on Jamison. The gunmen thereafter ran off into the surrounding area. The police was alerted, and upon their arrival, Jamison was seen in the middle of the road with what appeared to be multiple gunshot wounds to his head and upper body. He was taken to the Savannah Lamar Public Hospital. Tourism Ministry welcomes ending of COVID-19 travel restrictions in Canada. Senior advisor and strategist in the Tourism Ministry, Delana Severide, has welcomed the Canadian government's decision to scrap all remaining COVID-19 travel restrictions. The Government of Canada has ended the COVID-19 border restrictions, including mandatory vaccinations, random on-arrival tests, and has made the Arrive Can app optional. The policy changes will come in effect on Saturday. Mr. Severide said that the move will serve as a boost for increased stopover visits from the country, which has been long Jamaica's second-largest tourism source market.
Canada had one of the tightest COVID-19 regimes in all the world, and for a developed countries, one of the few that still had protocols like that in place. So we have been lagging as it relates to our numbers in and out of Canada, and then we believe that some of these restrictions have served to turn people off. So what we're hoping for is a significant uptick in Canadian travelers in the coming winter. We know there are concerns in the Canadian market about the price of our destination in Jamaica. It's a little bit more expensive compared to some of our partners in the region. But in any event, we expect to see an uptick in stopover arrivals from Canada. This is a positive development. Minister Bartlett and the JTB will be leading a number of engagements in Toronto and elsewhere in Canada with our very important travel partners there, including the major airlines and our major tour operators. And we want to see Canada get back to pre-pandemic numbers, to 2019 numbers, and that's something we're going to be working really hard at getting.
Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell says discussions ongoing with Transport Ministry to expand Christiana Taxi Park. Mayor of Mandeville Donovan Mitchell said discussions are ongoing with the Transport Ministry about expanding the Christiana Taxi Park. This follows protests by taxi operators on Friday morning over alleged police harassment. The operators also called for a proper parking facility in Christiana. Mayor Mitchell and Transport Minister Audley Shaw has been engaging in discussions about the issue and is awaiting a feasible report on the expansion.
The Minister of Transport have met with officers from the council to discuss an expansion. I think through the Transport Authority, there are some discussion and a quick feasibility study was ordered to see where we are and how quickly we can have that area expanded and what amount of funds we would need both between the municipality and the Ministry of Transport. I recall having words with him Monday of this week, and he's awaiting that report. So soon as that report is available and the funding is found, we will be able to do what is it that we can do. If between now and the end of next month, October, the funding is found, I would assure the public that we would try to do our best to have everything ready in time for the Christmas period, because we know what is to be done there. So I'm asking and I'm pleading to both the transport owners and the traveling public in the Christiana area to just bear with us. You are on our books. As a matter of fact, I have just stepped out of a meeting where that matter is being discussed at this time too. And so we are willing to sit and to have some discussions and to see what can happen.
$200 million damage to agricultural sector from Ian. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Pernell Charles Jr. is reporting that damage to the agricultural sector by flooding caused by Tropical Storm Ian is more than $200 million, and assistance will be provided to affected farmers. He said that from a preliminary report that has been compiled, it is clear that persons in the sector suffered losses, adding that after the assessment, a determination will be made as to the level of response, as the government is committed to supporting them, and we will continue our incentive programs. Speaking to reporters after the Jamaica Pig Farmers Association annual general meeting in Osborne Store, Clarendon on Thursday, September 29, the minister said, "We haven't gotten a breakdown. We need to disaggregate that, but we are speedily moving ahead to complete those assessments so that we can put something forward and then to determine how best to give support to those persons who have been impacted." He argued that the damage to the farm industry is another reminder that investors in the sector must be resilient against shocks, as many farmers who implemented resilience operations were spared losses. They were proud that they came out with less damage than they expected, but it also reminds us that we are still in a vulnerable sector that requires collaboration, support, and protection because it is such an integral and important sector, the minister said. Tropical Storm Ian was upgraded to a hurricane after passing southwest of Jamaica. Man arrested after ammo allegedly found under bed in Portmore. A man was arrested by the St. Catharines Hall Police in relation to the seizure of a Glock magazine containing 28 9mm rounds of ammunition on Shepstone Road in Waterford on Friday. Reports from the Portmore police are that about 4 a.m., lawmen were in the area when a premises that was occupied by the suspect was searched. During the operation, the ammunition was found under a bed in a room, according to the police. The ammunition was subsequently seized. He was taken into custody. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for